Hey there, everybody. Kendall here, and I'm trying to get my phone put together so I can actually have a conversation with you. The wind is blowing, though. Alrighty. So, I was actually going to write an article on this today, and my article came out, How Do You Define Reality? And this is really how I define reality. So this is all about the same stuff, which of course is how it always rolls, right? Conscious coffee and my musings of the day kind of always blend together in some format or something. It is the theme of the day, the energy of the day, the conversation of the day, the fucking message that you need to hear today. That's what it is. It's just a fucking message. Because this stuff, it just is. I was listening to my mentor earlier while sun tanning on this very stressful Monday afternoon, and I was laying out and getting some tan after yoga and juicing, doing a juice cleanse this week, and really just my life, getting very focused on a few goals that I have wanted to accomplish, and I've just kind of been kicking to the side, and I keep saying they're important to me, but I don't make them a priority in my life. And since I haven't been making them a priority in my life, guess what? They haven't been manifesting. So I just said, fuck that. I'm going to start manifesting this because this really is a priority. And look at all the other stuff that I have going on. And, I've gone through the whole bout of I'm scared to write that down. I'm scared to focus on it because, oh my goodness, what if it happens? I've had that happen this week. I had, some doubts and some different things, challenges. Of course, everything underneath the stars coming to me and trying to set me off course now that I've said, okay, I really want to do this. I want to do this with my health. I want to do this with my body. I want to do this with my business. I want to do this with my finances. I want to do this with my travel. I want to and I've got all this stuff. Like my passion is just ignited and turned on for creation. I'm just like, yeah, it's like, just like, let's get creating. It is springtime. It is gorgeous out, and fuck COVID, because you know what? COVID isn't our boss. It doesn't rule our world. It doesn't tell us what we can and cannot do, what we can create and what we cannot create. I don't care who you are. You're in charge of your energy. Nobody else is in charge of your energy. So I was listening to my mentor while sun tanning, listening to her, and she was going on and on about money mindset, and I was cracking up because I'm like, I do this shit. Like, I'm that crazy girl that does this stuff because I just believe that that's the way it works. And because I believe that that's the way it works, which is exactly okay, yes. Here's the thing. A couple weeks ago, I planted a garden, right? I had my kids out here, my 5-year-old and my 7-year-old, and I really wanted them to learn about gardening. I wanted them to plant seeds, and I wanted them to go through the gestation process, right? And I wanted them to experience the little seeds popping up, and I wanted them to just be able to then, watch it bud, watch it grow, have the flowers come on it, have the flowers turn into fruit, right? Into the cucumbers, into the zucchini, into all of that. Have all these buds happening and have the produce actually happen. And then have them go out and pick it. And then, of course, eat it, right? So I wanted them to go through the whole process, and I wanted them to learn the beauty of growth that way, and the power of how when we plant a seed and we care for it and we get love and attention and we feed it, nurture it properly, that we actually get something yummy from it, right? That we get sustenance from it. This is how we feed ourselves, because that exact same thing applies to our money, to our relationships, to our health, to anything that we're wanting. Gardening is exactly the path. Like, we have to garden and tend and nurture every little piece of it. But we don't want to consistently do what? Dig up the seed and go, why aren't you growing? Why aren't you growing? Why aren't you growing? Well. So I bought 18, I wanted strawberries. I bought 18 strawberry roots. And I let each one of my sons have their own little planter box. And they took the roots and we dug down and they buried the roots and they covered them up and they made little sticks, with their names on it so that they could designate this is Rowan's strawberries and this is Gabriel's strawberries, and in the middle was Mommy's strawberries. And we put, good soil, and we fertilized and we watered, and they're in the perfect sunlight. And we have been out here every single day for close to 3 weeks going, ooh, strawberries. Ooh, strawberries. And I was applying the Abraham Hicks method. We all hear about Esther and how she goes, you are my favorite flower, and you are my favorite flower, and you are stuff, which is what? Having gratitude, having appreciation, putting positive energy towards something so that it grows, so that it's vibrant, so that it's healthy. So I'm out here and I'm doing all the Abraham Hicks stuff on these little strawberry roots, and I'm loving them, and I'm watering everything, and my garden is popping. Everything in my garden's popping. My zucchini's going, my watermelon's going, my tomatoes are going, my cucumbers, bell peppers, jalapenos, spices, salads, spinach, arugula. It's all popping. It's all popping. But those 18 little strawberry roots, nothing, not a damn thing coming up. The soil untouched, no cracking, no sprouting, nothing. And I'd sit here, because you see, out here, have my little side on my patio. From here, I can see my garden. And I love looking at my garden. I love green. It's my favorite color. And I look over and there's just all this lovely green growth. And it tells me that I have growth in my life and that I have abundance in my life. It's just another little add-on to growth and abundance. And I go, yeah, I take pride in it. It feels good to plant and to nurture and to see the growth and to know that there's more to come, that there's going to be something that I can not enjoy in multiple ways. I get to enjoy the whole growth process. I get to enjoy that journey. I get to enjoy the planting of it, the creating of it, right? The co-creation that we get to do. And then I get to enjoy cooking or eating it. And strawberries, come on, sweet, juicy. That's why I bought 18 of them. I want a lot of strawberries. Yeah, but it just wasn't happening for the strawberries. And I would sit here every single day and I would stare over there and I would get pissed off. I was getting slowly more and more pissed off at my garden, which I love. And I would look at it and be like, yeah, my mint's doing great. Yeah, my zucchini's doing great. Yeah, my cucumbers are doing great. Oh, yeah. And then I would look at that row of strawberries. And I go, oh, damn fucking strawberries. And that was my attitude. But here's the thing. That was dropping a little piece of poison into my energy around my gardening. Because I was like, ugh, look at, God, like everything else is growing, but the sweetness, the juiciness, the thing that I was looking the most forward to, they're not growing. They're not even, who knows where the strawberries are. So one day, 2 days ago, I made mention of this to my guy. And I was just like, you know what? I'm done. I am absolutely done. Like, I am going to go some strawberry plants because I'm done being angry at my gardening. I'm done being angry at my garden. I'm done being angry and overlooking my beautiful growth because of this one stinking row. My strawberries are mucking up my energy. They're mucking up my energy. And that was when I realized that I needed to kind of cheat the system. I needed to kind of hack Mother Nature. And I really did need to go and buy strawberry plants because I was tired of waiting. And something inside of me just went, you know what? These didn't take. Like, I wasn't loving them enough. Something wasn't in alignment to those initial strawberry roots, obviously. It was like something. So I made mention to him about that. And sure enough, by a couple hours later, he's off and running around and doing different things, home project things, and he comes back with 2 buckets of strawberries startlings, and he comes in and here's a story you were talking about. And it's just enough. Everybody has the same amount. There's 18 strawberry startings over there. And so I sat here, and somebody else had asked me, like, why just wait, and then they're like, oh, well, the boys are gone this week, so aren't they going to be, they're like, what are you going to tell them? I'm like, well, I'm going to tell them that this is what happened. Look at the strawberries that popped up, and look, some of them even have little strawberries starting on it. I want them to not get lost in the negativity that I had going on. I want them to see the magic of Mother Nature, the magic of our possibilities, the magic of when you put your mind to something that you and that I wanted them to really truly experience that. And so that's what I'm telling them. I'm going to lie to my kids in an essence so that they can really feel in co-creation with Mother Nature, with God, with universe. And here's the thing. Here's how this applies to you. Long time ago, when I first got started as a coach, I had no clients. 0 clients. Like everybody, I started out with 0 clients. So that means that I started out with 0 appointments, and I started out with 0 money. And I didn't have a freaking clue as to what I was doing. And I didn't know how I was going to fill my pipeline. And I didn't know how I was going to schedule. And I didn't know how I was going to make money. And then sure enough, I fiddled around a little bit, and I started to get a couple of consults. People started to notice, and then I ended up with a couple clients, and then I ended up with more clients. And I was like, okay. But there was this thing that I did with client number 1, the very first client that I ever had. I told this man, as he said, can you meet today? Let's have a cup of coffee, and let's meet today. And you know what I told him? I said, I'm sorry, I can't meet today. My schedule's booked out for the next week and a half, but I can meet you next Wednesday, or whatever day it was, right? So we can meet then. And he said, okay. And I thought to myself, that's crazy. Like, I just lied. I could have had a client. I could have made money this week, but I'm pushing it off to next week because something inside of me said I need to tell him that I was busy. And so I did that appointment, and then he said, well, when can I book my first appointment? And I told him, I said, oh, well, I'm booked out the next 3 weeks in a row, but let me see if I can clear some spots for you, create something for you, and see, we'll get you in. We'll get you in within the next week. I promise you that. I'll figure something out just for you. Now, I had nobody on my schedule. My schedule was as high and dry as could be, Death Valley had nothing on my schedule. But there I was. I set the stage. And I started telling everybody that my schedule was jam-packed. And then something inside of me said, you know what I should do? This is what I should do. Because my schedule still wasn't filling up. I started to tell people that. But when I looked at my schedule, empty strawberry pots. That's what I saw. I saw empty strawberry pots. I saw days and days and days of nothing. No growth. No cracking of the ground. No roots popping. No little seedling starts. No green. There was no green. There was no growth. I had this one guy that I had scheduled, and nothing around him. And I went, oh, yay, I have a client. Yay, I made some money. Yay, I have an appointment on the books. Yay, I have 2 appointments a month now. Yay, me. My God, the other days of the week, I had nothing. And I started hating on my schedule, and I started hating on my business because I had nothing except for these 2 appointments with this one dude. And I couldn't see my blessing. I couldn't see the growth with him. I couldn't see my own growth because I was so focused on the empty strawberry pots, on the empty schedule, all those empty slots. And so, you know what I did? I hacked the system. I cheated. I lied. I painted a fantasy reality. I painted this fantasy, and what I did was, and I named 10 people, and I put them on my schedule, and I did here's an appointment with John, and here's an appointment with Mary, and here's an appointment with Sarah, and here's a da-da-da. And I popped them in, and I did however many appointments I needed. And I filled up my schedule for 5 weeks. And then, when I had those appointments, I started to act like during that time frame, that was my work time. That was the time that I was putting attention into my business, very focused attention into my business. That was when I was focusing in on, back then, the creation of my website. Back then, I was doing a lot of education, a lot of certifications, a lot of different things like that. So I was focusing in on that. But I used that time that I blocked out for these fictitious clients, I used that time for growth. I use that time for building. I use that time for nurturing. I use that time for the seeds that I had planted and to take them. So, what ended up happening from that? Well, that was 12 years ago. It was 12 years ago. Today, like right now, today, my schedule is booking out into July. It's booking out into it's April. And I have a schedule that's not booked out 1 week in advance or 2 weeks in advance or 3 or 4 or 5, but 3 months. Now, do I still have some empty spots? Yeah, I do. But I've designed them. I've created those empty spots because I could easily fill in all of that time gap with something really important, with more seeds, with more people. And I could have such a garden that I couldn't even tend to it anymore. I couldn't focus on it. So I created space. And I've had to learn how to create space. I've had to learn how to pluck the weeds out of my garden and to have that space, to give that growth potential for the ones that I am working with. My message to you is, where are your seeds not growing? Where are those roots not sprouting? Where are you sitting there and really hardcore focused on something in your life that you're wanting to create, but you're so focused on this one little gap here where it's not sprouting, where it's not happening. And no matter how much water you give it, no matter how much sunshine, no matter how much babying, how much sweet talking, and going over and going, I love it, I love it, I love it. You're the best. And you're just getting nothing. Nada back. Nothing. Zero. Zip. Zilch. Nothing. And inside, as much as you're putting on that smile, and you're loving it, and you're like, yeah, I love this, I love this, I love this. But right in here, you're like, oh, fuck this. Fuck it. I hate this. I'm pissed off at it. It's not giving me what I want. I'm working my ass off for this, and I'm not seeing any results. There is no ground cracking. There is no mounds of sprouts showing up. There is no fruit that is going to bear right here. And you just keep at your core. You feel that. At your core, but you really want it. At your core, you're going, ugh, I'm not seeing it. The frustration. Where is that going on for you? So, we all have a spot like that. Mine was strawberries. Yours might be less little, or it might be something much bigger. But the thing to remember is that you create your reality. You create your reality, and sometimes you have to actually fall into this false existence almost. You have to paint this picture that's not 100% accurate, but it is accurate to what your desire is. I desired strawberries. I desired for my children to see sprouts and to see berries by the time they got to me on Friday. I wanted strawberries. I waited 3 weeks. The little bag said 2 extra week. I took the time. I nurtured, I babied. Those roots, they were no good. They were no good. Doesn't matter why they were no good. They were no good. So I hacked the system. I hacked Mother Nature, and I painted the picture that I want to see. I painted the picture that I want my children to see. Potential, so that they can understand growth, so that they can see it, and they can have a little bit of belief in themselves. Something that you and I both need, something that our children need, something that this world desperately needs, is to believe in ourselves, to know our power. But you know what? Sometimes that kind of gets kicked out of us, right? But we don't have to kick it out of our children, and we certainly don't have to kick it out of ourselves deliberately. So if we got ground that's not shaken the way we want it to, we don't have the sprouts happening that we want, and we have been doing the time and we've been putting in the effort, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to start painting a better picture. Maybe it's time to go, okay, I really am upset with this. Now, how can I hack Mother Nature? How can I kind of cheat the system just a little bit and give myself a nudge? Give myself a nudge so that I start to get that creation going. How do I do that? How do I do that? Look at the spot in your life that this is going on. And then get into creative mode. Brainstorm. Because it's not always as easy as going and buying tomato plants. I get that. It's not always as easy as just posting some things on your calendar. Or maybe it is. Maybe you have something that you really want to accomplish. Maybe it's something with your health. Maybe it's something with your relationship. So why don't you make a holiday out of the celebration of it actually manifesting? Why not give yourself the stepping stones? Create it as a visual. Put it on your phone. Put it on your calendar. Start daydreaming about it as though it is. And realize that you are the creator. Because the thoughts of like, I'm really upset with this, it's just going to keep you. The thoughts and the reality of no matter how much you do this and do all of this stuff and you put on the face, if you're not buying it in here, then it's not going to happen out here. Happen out here. Believe. And sometimes we're painting too big of a picture. Sometimes we don't really truly understand the vastness of something. We go, oh yeah, I want to make $1 million a year this year, but I'm only making $50,000. So how is somebody that's making $50,000 this year supposed to then go, I'm going to make $1 million by the end of the year? Of a leap. We don't do that. Our brain and our emotion isn't going to buy in. And here's what's going on. If you were going to make $1 million this year, then you would have made more than $50,000 already, right? So it would have been like you'd be leaps and bounds above it. Maybe you should go, okay, I'm going to make $50,000 this year, but I want it to grow just a little bit. So what's a number that you can believe? Is 60,000 a number that you can believe? Is 75,000 a number that you can believe? Can you go, yeah, I can see myself making 75,000 this year. I can grow my income by another 25,000. I can do that. Maybe that's too big. Maybe you need to shrink that down even more. Maybe you need to go, you know what? An additional $500 a month would be a big damn deal. That would be awesome. That would be wonderful. I could get debt free. I could travel some more. I could do this. I could do that. So maybe it's just 500. Maybe that's where your belief level's at. Then let it be there. Get right with where your belief level is at. That's the number one thing to realize. You've got to get right with where your belief level is at. And then you stretch it just a hair, which might be 500 or it might be 25,000 or more. And I'm talking money on this. You can put this on any particular subject of your life. But the reality is that you've got to believe it in order to achieve it. And what we are so guilty of is putting a happy face on and lying to ourselves consistently. Lying. So if you're going to lie to yourself, picture that you really truly want and bring it down to reality a little bit and start lying to your emotions a little bit and give it just a little nudge. Go buy those strawberry plants. Plant them, because now when you look at your garden, you're going to go, oh, my garden's so pretty. Look at all my growth. Oh, look at my strawberries. Look at them. They're thriving. They're doing great. You'll quickly forget. You will quickly forget that you went and hacked the system. Instead, you're just going to focus on the growth. And once you start focusing on the growth, when you start focusing on the abundance, on the blessings, more abundance, more blessings, more strawberries. It all happens. Put your focus on what you want. And don't be afraid to tell the right lies to yourself with the right energy, because you get to create with today's thoughts, tomorrow with today's emotions, tomorrow with today's actions. So how are you thinking? How are you acting? How are you feeling about right now? If you can't get right with right now and love it, then tomorrow you're going to be given something. Well, on that note, you should freaking take advantage of my mastermind. Work one-on-one with me. I know a few people would like to, but maybe you haven't taken me up on this offer yet. This is a one-on-one killer ass special. Okay? So you get to work 4 weeks with me, one-on-one, private. This is where I kick your ass. This is where I literally show you the ropes of how you change your mindset through 7 key elements. It. I get in there, I kick your butt, I smack you around a little bit, all in total love, of course, Kendal style, right? I'm not going to actually kick you. I mean, gee whiz, there is a 6-foot law right this very second, right? So we have to at least stay 6 feet, and my stretch isn't 6 feet, so you're safe. You're safe. No, seriously, let me kick your butt. Get you through the hurdles of life and where you can actually start thriving. Set those goals, set the intents, get the mindset, get the emotional set points that you want, lift up your pleasure zone a little bit, have that bigger picture, and claim the life that you really truly want, the life that you are desiring. Because what else are you doing? Just sitting around paying bills because that's what you were born to do? No, not one of them to be raised to pay bills. Okay, that's not what we're here for. We're here to live. We're here to thrive. We're here to enjoy life. We're here to live in well-being. But that requires a mindset change, an emotional set change, an action set change. So let me guide you. Hold your hand while kicking your butt. I might have a glass if I'm doing that. That seems like a lot of work. No, seriously. I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to kick your butt for 4 with me. Click on the link in the comments section. Make sure to grab this. It closes on May 3rd, which is, guess what, right around the corner. Less than a week away. May 3rd is here, and this is gone. So don't hesitate. Don't wait for this, okay? It is at a deep risk, I can't even talk anymore. A deep discount. So make sure that you take advantage of that. Outside of that, I also have, for those of you who want to do a deeper dive with me, a longer term program, a little you really enjoy having my foot kicking you and stuff and me showing you the ropes of things, well then you can work with me for 6 months. And for that, you do have to do a consult. The 4 week, you don't have to do a consult. You skip all of that stuff. You fast track it right into where you want it. You jump start. And then if you want to go deeper, of course we can. But if you want to start out deep, you want to do some of those deep dives, you know that you need coaching for a longer period of time because you really want that kick abundance to come in. You really do want to have the life that you really want to call, and you know that there's more kinks in your line than what 4 weeks is going to be able to solve. Well, then you might want to take advantage of my consult special. And for any local people that are interested in that, I am doing a discount on my consults. I am also doing a 6-foot walk here in Plano at Arbor Hills, one of my favorite parks. So we get to walk and talk, enjoy the nature, and just get to know each other on that consult so that I can start to create that blueprint for you. If you are not local to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so you can't walk, then you can jump here on Facebook, or we can do a phone call. Old school it, phone call, yeah, or Zoom, of course. We can do any of those, get that consult done, and get you creating the life that you truly deserve. All right, guys, as always, I love you. Remember, you're worthy of a life of abundance, a life of bliss, a life of turned on, absolutely juicy yumminess, like those strawberries are going to be that I planted day before yesterday. Of life. That's what matters. That's what we're here for. The sweetness of life. Stop existing. Start living. Claim your life today. Know you're worthy. And I will catch you tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee.